He signed their death certificates with a calm hand, and no one suspected he was the one killing them. In a quiet town in northern England, patients didn't fear the doctor. They trusted him. He was polite, reliable, always available for home visits. The kind of doctor families felt lucky to have. But behind that white coat was something no one could imagine. Harold Shipman was more than just a respected general practitioner. For years, he carried out one of the most disturbing medical crimes in modern history, silently ending lives, then hiding the truth in plain sight. It started small. Elderly patients would visit him for routine care. Some had minor illnesses. Others were simply aging. After appointments, a pattern began to form. Patients would suddenly die at home, often when no one else was present. But every time questions came up, Shipman had answers. Clean, confident explanations. Natural causes. Old age. Heart failure. Nothing suspicious on paper. And because he was the doctor, people believed him. What no one saw was how carefully he controlled the narrative. He was often the last person to see his victims alive, and the first to certify their deaths. That gave him something dangerous: total authority over the story of how they died. Over time, suspicion should have grown. But in a community that trusted him deeply, doubt came slowly. Even more chilling was how ordinary everything looked. No dramatic scenes. No obvious violence. Just quiet visits and silence afterward. Families mourned. Funerals were held. Life moved on. But behind the scenes, something wasn't adding up. A local undertaker began noticing a strange pattern. Too many deaths. Too many certificates signed by the same doctor. And the timing, always suspiciously close to his visits. Still, no one wanted to believe the truth. Because the truth was too dark. It wasn't until a financial irregularity caught attention that everything began to crack open. A forged will linked to Shipman triggered a deeper investigation. When authorities finally looked closely at his records, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Dozens of deaths. Then hundreds. Many victims were elderly women living alone. People who should have had years left. And the doctor they trusted had been present in nearly every case. As investigators dug deeper, they realized something even more disturbing. Shipman had been carefully selecting vulnerable patients. People who wouldn't be missed immediately. People whose deaths could be easily explained away. By the time the full scale of his actions was uncovered, the number of victims had become one of the highest ever attributed to a single doctor in modern history. He wasn't hiding bodies in a physical sense. He was hiding them in paperwork, in trust, in medical authority. That was his method. Quiet. Clinical. Invisible. When he was finally arrested in 1998, the shock rippled far beyond the town. Families who thought their loved ones had died peacefully began to question everything they had been told. During questioning, Shipman showed no dramatic breakdown. No confession of remorse. Just calm denial, as if the entire investigation was a misunderstanding. But the evidence was overwhelming. He was convicted of multiple murders and sentenced to life in prison. He died in custody in 2004. Even after his conviction, one question still haunts investigators and the public. How many victims were there really? Because the truth is, we may never know the full number. And in that uncertainty lies the most disturbing part of all. Not just what he did, but how long he was allowed to do it, hidden in plain sight, behind a trusted face in a white coat.